All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So, sad fact, I forgot my password, so I actually can't upload right now. I'm gonna make a quick video while I wait for my wife to figure this out. So, I'm gonna look at Indo really quickly. This was another one that was looking at on the Discord this morning, and it was around 11 o'clock that I really started to see it. And really, there was a comment way before I was awake at 1 a.m. just reminding everyone to keep an eye on oil stocks, right? And a lot of it has to do with the headlines going around in the Middle East. We've already seen a crazy spike. We've seen it hold some MAs. It's I mean, it seems like this might be heating up for the next round, right? So I'll tell you what I got in my thoughts. For sure, I'm gonna say it, and I'll say it at least right now. That's a doji in my head right there, right? And it's not as textbook as like the RR one. I don't know if you just watched that video or not, but um, this is still a little more, than definitive, despite how nice most of the technicals look on this little screen right here, right? So, um, I'm very aware of the global news and the global awareness and this and that, but yeah, I live and die by the lines, and the doji is that one candle I kind of throw into my live and die book. You know what I mean? So I'll go over all this shortly, but before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our five moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So Indo, INDO. So a few things really easy to call out. Let's just zoom in really quickly, right? We do have a positive MACD, and that's always a good thing. We do have a very healthy RSI, and hey, volume today actually did get over the 50-day line, right? So that's not too shabby, all right? I don't like the fact that the MACD has the red over the green right there, but for the most part, these are actually not bad lower indicators, right? A lot of it really is all about up here, okay? And, in some ways you can give some credit to the two lines that I drew. We're kind of in this channel right now, right? We're just kind of going up and down. But to me, what I am seeing is all five moving averages are just a stone's throw away from each other. These are one, two, and then three of them are right there, right? Like all five are so close. When I look in the box over there, right, I can see two of them. One, two, sorry, three of them. Yeah. 318, 320, and 323. Between 2 to 3 cents is where these three are sitting. And then, hey, not that much lower below are these two, right? And it is really hard to escape a lot of moving at three is more than 50% of the five that I got, right? So it's just super tight, super tight, super tight. It's a little, I don't even know what the word is, right? Because technically, we're seeing a death cross right now. We're seeing the 8 go under the 100. We're seeing the 8 go under the 20, right? That's a death cross, and that's actually a death cross today. So, death cross is obviously not a good term, right? We want to see golden crosses where the little one goes above the big one, right? I think this is just nothing more than the lines being too tight, but hey, maybe the death cross is actually a really interesting sign that I'm kind of ignoring right now, right? What I was really looking at was this battle with $3.57. And I mean, really, the battle never ended. We, like, I mean, literally closed right there, a couple pennies over, right? But when I go on the 15-minute chart, that's pretty much where we were living for the last what? That's the last hour and a half. That basic line was 360, right? Now I'm talking about 357. So we just could like we tried to go up, came down, came up, came down. Hey, we at least held that 8 moving average even on this 15-minute chart, right? But for me, it's all about the daily, and really it's one of two things, all right? Either we're coming up to 408 tomorrow, or we're coming right back down to 325. Let's call it maybe 330, something like that. I would say 330 on the way down. I would say 410 on the way up. That's essentially what I'm looking for. I'm looking for confirmation of this doji that we've escaped all five, or I'm looking for the doji to say, hey, it was just an uncertain day. We're coming back to reality. We're still stuck in these, all right? The two other important things to look at are going to be volume and headlines. All right. So starting with the volume, let's look at the hourly chart. Okay. The hourly chart doesn't really have a lot of beautiful volumes. There were two spikes in the hourly that were good. There were two that were pretty much bad, and then a little bit of insignificant, right? We need to see good, strong, consistent volume, and we really need it to be in that 9 million range, right? I need a little bit more than 1 point something, right? 7 million. I'm not going to divide 9 by 7 right now, but 9 divided by 7 is essentially what I'm looking. Let's just do it. What am I doing? I'm being lazy. I'm sorry. So if I'm looking for like 9 million shares in a 7-hour day, I need about 1.3 in the first hour, 2.6-ish in that second hour, right? If we can get that, I mean, in 2 hours, we almost got more than the day to day, right? So volume is going to be really important. And hey, right now, the question is, will Iran do something? All right. Look, as a human, I hope it doesn't. As a stock trader who's looking at oil stocks, if they do, oil is going to do some silly things, right? So that's really the focus here. And hey, on the technical side, I'm watching this 357 line, right? That's essentially what we're looking for. Obviously, it wasn't my prediction for tomorrow, right? But I think that 357 break or loss will dictate either that 410 or that 320, 330 that I talked about, up or down, right? So real quick, I'll look at HUSA, but I don't like it as much. Now, that could be not the best of comments, right? Because really, if we can get over this, there's a nice channel up to there. Get over this, there's a nice channel up to there, right? So there is actually a decent path to get up to 150. I'm liking Indo just a little bit more because, hey, look, we're trying to get over, break all five and fly, right? Like we're trying to I don't know, right? I don't want to start using these bigger targets up there, right? But better things happen over the moving averages than within them. But hey, if we can get over this, and I think 130. I would say if we can get into that 129, 130 range, I think there's a real good shot at 138. You break that, and like I said, 149, 150. And hey, these two have enough separation where we can battle the 100 by itself and then take on the 200 after. That's not a bad RSI, right? So there's room for the RSI to go up from 40s to somehow 80s, right? So Indo is my focus. I will be honest with you. It's done silly things before, and I like the fact that it held the moving averages after it did the silly things, right? It obviously didn't continue. That would have been prettier, but hey, it could have pumped, and it actually did dump on the volume side, but the stock at least didn't, right? So just some things to consider, all right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. I got to figure out my password, and I will get these posted shortly. You know I appreciate you so much.